This video is brought to you with the support of the following lamp sponsors.
Collecting original movie posters is quite enjoyable and a great hobby, but unfortunately, most people view a movie poster as simply an advertising tool with a pretty picture. A lot of collectors don't realize that it is a lot more than that. Collectors of original movie posters are also preserving information from the past, very similar to film collectors. Yes, we're historians, and that poster that you are collecting is a historical document recording basic information about what a studio presented to the public at a specific time. And when the film is lost, the posters become extremely important. Even some poster collectors do not see beyond the poster's artwork, which is really just a small part of the wealth of information presented on that poster. So, let's take a look and learn how to read your movie poster. This information is presented as if it is to someone who is just beginning and looking at a poster for the first time. If you have been collecting for a while, please understand. Here is a sample for us to use. The first thing a collector looks for is the size of the poster and if it's printed on paper stock or cardstock. This quite often identifies what type of item you have. In this case, the poster is on paper stock and measures 27 by 41, which identifies this as a one sheet. But since this article is on reading your movie poster, we will skip this part and put our attention to what is actually on the poster. Let's break your poster into these 7 areas. Image, title and credits, logo row, documentation below logo row, plugs, stamps, snipes and stickers. Back. Let's look at each area. Image. Normally, the first thing everyone sees is the image on the poster. The artwork is quite often a basic summary of what the film is about and why many collectors are in the hobby. Whether it is actual artwork or photography, collectors normally look for an artist or an agency who created the image. Most artists, if they are allowed to, or if the studio didn't crop off the signature, will sign somewhere in the bottom half of the poster. Some of the studio artists tried to hide it to pass the editor. Italian artists and some French artists usually sign at the top, but most others are around the bottom half. Agencies are normally on the side edges of the poster on the outside of the artwork and could be considered part of the documentation. Our sample below features the artwork created by the great artist Richard Amsel. As you can see his signature, Amsel. His signature is actually a part of the artwork. Title and credits. Of course, the title is simple, unless it is an AKA or a film that has been retitled, which would then help with the dating. Some posters will have words such as formerly entitled to take advantage of earlier publicity, but it also lets you know that it is a reissue. The following sample is from the one sheet for the 1945 film. It happened in New Orleans, which was originally released in 1936 as Rainbow on the River. The credits are normally just below the image, but they can be in all areas. The first thing to notice in the credits is who is presenting the film. Credits are giving credit to who made the film, who was in the film, or who was part of making the film. This is the part that the studio wants to present to promote the film. Always read through and look for details. There could be tips to help dating, such as a name change of an actor or actress, such as Sir Laurence Olivier, or a change in a married name, etc. Of course, teaser posters won't have this part, but most of the regular posters will. To help identify the country of origin of the poster, look for the words that are found between the names of the stars. It is easier to look for commonly used terms like the word for director or directed by, which is the most used word on movie posters. By identifying that word, you can normally identify what country issued the poster. Another is looking for a ratings box. Many major countries use them, and it was a quick way to identify that country. The logos across the bottom of the poster are very important. For older posters until the 1970s, most production studios were also the distributor, so there would only be one logo. Major distributors would only put their logos, and smaller production companies might have a remark in the credits instead of having their logos on it. As production costs continued to escalate and co-productions became more popular, it became more common to see multiple logos. In most major countries, the logo on the bottom left corner is usually the production company, and the logo on the bottom right corner is usually the distributor. This especially helps with newer posters where distribution is divided. For example, one distributor would have a US distribution, and the other distributor would have the international distribution. The distributor logo on the bottom right corner usually identifies which distribution it is. Since the 1990s, production costs have become so great that it is not unusual to have numerous production companies share the expense. Logo Row has become the place for them to let their logo be seen. Other logos that often appear across the bottom are sound systems, ratings boxes, other associated presentations like books or records, websites on newer posters, etc. Let's take a quick look at these. Sound systems. This becomes important for identifying special events, such as roadshow presentations, which utilized 65mm and 70mm film. A special performance for a higher admission would also mean a special poster was issued. Ratings box. US posters have their ratings here. Other countries sometimes put their ratings here, and sometimes they put them in other places, such as the side borders, which is common practice for French and Italian posters. The United Kingdom usually has their ratings box just below the title to the bottom right. This is covered later. Websites. As the internet becomes a dominant part of everyday life, websites have become the most cost-effective way of advertising for distributors. Placing a website address on the posters started in the 1990s and has become a mainstay for current posters. The extension of the website address is a great identifier. For example, if you have a website that ends with .de, you know that it is a German distributor. Documentation. Below Logo Row is a great source of information. For US posters, this area is normally used for the copyright year and copyright holder, national screen service information, printer's information, and style marks. Always compare the copyright date with any other dates on the poster to help identify reissues. Another little-known marking in the US is the printer's union bug, which can help identify unmarked reissues. Below is the documentation row on the one-sheet poster for Panic in the Streets. Plugs. Plugs can be at the top or at the bottom of the poster. This is special wording concerning the issuing of this poster. This could be awards for recognition, an anniversary issue, or advance announcements like coming soon, or a release date at the bottom of the poster. This could also be chapters as part of a serial or presentations at film festivals. Stamps, snipes, and stickers. Some countries utilize censorship rating stamps, snipes, or stickers. This is done when posters from other countries are used, such as Belgium, Canada, Denmark, Germany, Netherlands, and New Zealand. But some countries place them on almost all posters issued, like the French Visa de Censure marks or Japanese Erin marks. For other countries such as the UK, France, and Italy, this area can also contain printer tags and censorship markings, which are vital for telling reissues, censorship numbers for dating, edition marks, and several other valuable pieces of information, such as Visa de Censure marks, which helps with dating in France, film carrying stamps in the Netherlands, Erin marks, which dates the posters in Japan, and Statens film censor, which also dates the posters in Denmark. Back of poster. The back of the poster is also a great place for additional information. It is quite common, especially in the US, to have information stamped on the back. These would usually be NSS title stamps or distribution stamps, as they would give additional information about where the poster had been and help with authenticity. The back of the poster is also the best place to look for evidence of any restoration of the poster by holding it up to the light from the back, unless it has been linen-backed. There is a lot more to a poster than just another pretty picture. Always look at your poster very carefully to see all the information that it has for you. If you handle a lot of posters, and need help with them, our LAMP membership section offers many tools to help you with identification. These include International Poster Size Chart, Artist's Identification Chart, Country Identification Chart, Production Studio Logs, Country Domain Extensions, Country Censorship Logs, Scopes Logs, International Stamps, Snipes and Stickers Identification, International Printers Logs, National Screen Service Online Book and Log of NSS Numbers, and lots more. For more information on LAMP's membership program, contact Ed at edp@learnaboutmovieposters.com.
Thank you for watching this Learn About Movie Posters presentation. For more information, visit learnaboutmovieposters.com.